Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data, and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Whoop, whoop. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome back to Juicy Scoop with more of your favorite blue-eyed delight, non-hat wearing, thank God, Chris Franjola.
Yeah.
Chris, let's get into the topics. George Santos really made a splash on Cameo, and apparently he is suing Jimmy Kimmel for using his cameos, saying like that they're not yours to use.
Right.
But in diving into it more, the thing about Cameo that you have to be careful about if you do Cameo, which you and I both do, is the people that bought that Cameo for $50, $100, $300, it's theirs.
Yeah.
It's their property. So they can share it on social media and make fun of you. They can give it to Jimmy Kimmel.
Right. Yeah.
So you have to be careful when you do those. I like to look cute when I do them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I do them thinking, remember, this is going to go out there. And sometimes people just get bored and they just start spilling some juice about their life onto the Cameo. And then those go, especially like about housewives and stuff, then I see them in like the other groups and things. Right. And so
I feel like that's what happens a lot with podcasting too. All these people get into trouble for different things. It's because you start talking for hours on end, some podcasts. The next thing you know, they just like say some, like I think, the Tom Sandoval thing we talked about. I think he was talking, who knows? No,
that was like a written interview.
Yeah.
But I think you're just getting so used to just
chatting.
But, exactly. You got to, but, like he's got anything to lose, but he's not going to win that. So I thought that was interesting. Wendy Williams, I'm like, okay, I'm very confused, and I've read stuff on this. Poor Wendy Williams. Her show ended in 2021. It got canceled in 2022. Then she did a documentary where she was part of or something. And this is now like part 2 of that.
Right.
So, but it's like they picked up the cameras. Maybe I'm guessing maybe she had a deal to do a part 2, but it's not making her look good. All her family is talking. She's on the cover of People with the family going, we don't know where she is. She's an alcoholic. She's at some facility. We see her in this clips being like, kind of losing it and being like, take me back to the studio. And they're like, we just drove by there. And her being like, I'm broke. And it's just so weird. Like, I'm like, I don't understand like who's in charge.
Well,
and because is she getting paid to be in this documentary, or she just signed something away and the family's getting money for it?
I mean, doesn't she have like mental health issues or something? Because I feel like that show was huge and she was killing it on that time slot
and show.
And then all of a sudden it just kind of weirdly ended because there was a lot of different, remember she fainted and then she wasn't showing up and blah, blah, blah. But I feel like it ended rather quickly. It's like they didn't cancel it because of ratings. I think it was doing very well ratings-wise.
She took all this time off.
Yeah.
And that's when they were having guest hosts and stuff, which I was part of that as well.
Yeah.
Hoping that she could come back. And she just couldn't. And it was like a combination of...
But is it health issues?
Yes. I mean, she has Graves' disease. And then also she, I guess, is struggling with alcoholism.
Right.
I guess, apparently. But she seemed to be okay after it all came out with the husband.
Right.
That the husband had not only a mistress that I think she was aware of. Once he had a baby, she was like, okay, there's no denying this.
Yeah.
Last time I was on the show, she was good. She was like, I'm going to come out to LA and have some fun. And she was like over him.
Right.
And then something happened and then she just never came back and they just couldn't keep the show going on anymore.
But is she also older now? I mean, how old is she? Is she 50 or is she 80?
She's definitely not 80.
Oh, I have no idea.
She's probably close to 60.
Oh, so she's young.
Yeah, if she didn't have all these ailments, she could go on for another 20 years.
Right.
She was very unique in what she did. Then she was like, oh, I'm going to do a podcast. I'm going to do this and that. Everyone thinks that's easier.
Yeah, I know.
No, but I don't know. I'm very confused if she's part of this documentary or not. And if she is not, I feel like that's not okay that we're even going to see this.
Right. What is it going to air on?
Lifetime.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Like maybe she, you know what I mean? Like even if she signed and did it, why isn't there somebody going to court? That's where I feel like nobody's on her side.
You know what she needs to do right now?
Like if this was my mother, I would be like, I'm going to court to stop this.
Yeah.
Because yes, she agreed to do this when she was in her right mind, sound of mind and body.
Yeah.
But she's not anymore. And therefore, I don't think that this is what she wants out there as her last legacy is her having cameras following around when she really doesn't. Like this is going to be the last thing that we might see of her. I'd be like, no, we shouldn't be able to see this.
Yeah. She should go on the Shannon Sharp podcast, but that's what everybody does. And just start name, because that's what she did before. She was like a radio DJ.
Yeah,
who
that's
was
what
real.
she'd spill all the beans.
That was her whole
she was
thing.
the original Cat
Now,
Williams.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now go to and Monique, who did it recently.
Oh, you know what's going on with Monique?
No.
So she has Monique, the comedian. She's going on tour, I guess, with Cat, which I think is a great combo.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about going to listen to some juicy fucking scoop. Buy a ticket to that.
Yeah.
But she has this great looking, well-spoken adult son who is from her first relationship, I guess. And then she has 3 or 2 other little, well, they're not little now, but with the man that she is her manager, that she calls daddy. I don't know why she calls her husband daddy, but whatever. And the son got on TikTok, the adult son, and basically said, like, we're estranged. We're never talking. We're never going to fuck with each other again. All these awful things. And it's so sad to watch. As I watched it, I was like, and then, of course, Monique and her husband, who's the stepdad, went and counteracted, did their counter argument and was like, we gave him money for a car. We da-da-da-da. He's meanwhile like, she doesn't want to see her granddaughter. And it's just so icky that like everyone is doing this like on social media.
Yeah, I know. Well,
like, I'm going to tell on you. Well, no, I'm going to tell on you. And you're like, well, what is the end game here?
Yeah.
But every time I see something like this, I'm always just like, oh, I hope my kids never do this to me. And he's like, all she cares about being is Monique and everything. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't think so. They're good.
Right now, you're safe.
Right now, I think I'm pretty safe, but
doesn't look like they're turning that way. But I might go on the Shannon Sharp podcast, talk for like 5 hours.
You're the only one that couldn't be persuaded by certain people. I know that. How do you feel now about this relationship of Taylor and Travis? I feel that there's a couple girls that have been talking about it, and I kind of agree.
Oh.
Could she possibly catch the ick factor in the next 2 months? When he got up there at the awards ceremony or whatever.
Started fight for the right to party.
No, that one was bad enough. I think it was worst when he sang, I got friends in low place. And one of the things I've said, in order to keep this relationship, marriage, kids going on, is that I'm afraid that Travis is a secret, he has a secret desire to be a rock star.
Well.
And there's nothing worse. That is terrifying.
Yeah.
The only thing more terrifying than that is when a comedian actually wants to be a singer.
I'll give you what probably the reality of the situation is, which might even be more terrifying than wanting to be a rock star, is he is a bro. And a bro's fine in short spurts. You know what I mean? You don't want bro, like, this is the guy who has like a, what are they, a male den, where they go watch TV. Don't come in here. I'm in my man cave. Like, that's what he's going to be at 40. Right now, he's 34 or whatever. But you're going to be bro, cigar guy. He's got friends.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking like, okay, they've only been dating for 3 months.
Right.
And they dated during the fun of dating the captain of the football team.
Right.
Of the team that won.
Yeah.
And I have been pro this relationship, but I feel like there might be a moment that happens with girls. It's different with guys where they get turned off because I'm not a guy.
Okay.
I only know when I've been that girl that's been into somebody or I've had a friend and they just do that one thing.
Yeah.
And I love when I ask my friends when they break up, whether it's marriage or divorce or boyfriend, whatever. And I say, when was that moment? Like, how people say, I have a rock bottom moment when I had to get up alcohol?
Yeah.
Women will have that moment.
I remember hearing this from several women.
Where all of a sudden, it's just, I got turned off and I could not get turned back on. And I think she's still into it.
And it's a weird thing. It could be like the way they eat or something.
It could be this singing thing, but she's going to let it go because he's on a private jet to see her in Australia.
Yeah, he's heading to Australia.
And I think she's still, and here's the thing, whether you're Tessa Ressa,
from TikTok.
Or Taylor, no woman, when she's been that in love and wants to get rid and start from scratch if she thinks there's any hope.
Right.
So she'll kind of tell herself, and I think she's like, oh my God, he's coming. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun.
Right.
Something's going to happen. This is what will break them up if they don't get engaged in May. Okay.
Right.
So
why May? Is that what they're saying?
Because Diablo Cody was on, and she believes it's May because her tour is in Paris, and she thinks he's basic and would ask her in Paris.
Oh, not a bad angle.
Totally great angle.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'm going to take your angle, but I'll give you credit.
Yeah.
That's what writers do to other writers. They don't just steal.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
The Oscar winner and me. Mm. Okay, so anyway, I think that something's going to happen at his show. He's going to bring too many people in the green room.
Oh, that's a bad one.
He's going to say, I want to come out. He's going to want to try to do more singing. Now, if that doesn't happen and they go get married, my next fear is that they have a couple kids. That's not a fear of mine. Have a couple kids. Things die down. And then whatever version of a talk show is 5 years from now.
Right.
She has something like that.
Right.
But it's with him.
Oh, well, that's way down the line.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
That can never happen. Or they start doing any kind of songs together.
That never. She's too smart for that.
Okay.
I don't think she'd ever go down that road. I don't think so.
But a lot of people like to please their man. As someone who's been married a long time.
Can I say this about this relationship? I'll say two things about this relationship. I was wrong about it. I thought it was going to be short-lived, and I thought it was more hype for whatever.
Okay.
I thought it was just hype. So I think there is something real about it. I do believe that. I also think that it's strange to me that nobody's really mentioning how short. Like, we're all like, they're going to get married. And I'm like, hey, everybody, they've been going out for 3 months or something. Not even that long.
I mean, everybody on Earth.
Maybe a little longer than that.
Everybody on Earth, especially Tessa Ressa, would tell you, you got to go through a whole year before engagement.
That's what I'm saying.
At least 1 year. Go through holidays.
Right.
Go through a distance of some sort. Someone had to go work. Someone had to da-da-da. The amount of COVID breakups, that being one of them, Tessa Ressa, the COVID thing. So this is not COVID. But like, there's all these little factors, and also like the football player that, no longer plays. Like, but she's also on a timeline in that she's like 33 and she's probably itching to like wrap up this for a while, at least pop out one kid. And I think she wants to be married when she does that.
Right.
So there you go.
I think
there could be a big factor.
I don't know if they've done it yet, but I think a good test. And a strong test for any relationship is a long car ride, 4 or 5 hour car ride. You'll learn a lot in a car ride. You learn about sneezing, like how loud, just different things like that.
Today have it easier because they have GPS.
Yeah.
I mean, in our parents' day, with screaming at my mother and the map, the missing an off ramp.
We just had nothing.
One time, my mom, they were so lost, and she went into a place to ask for directions. And then she came out and she goes, oh, can you just tell my husband? And the guy came out and he had he had like a speech impediment or something.
Right.
And could not. And she just, at that point, was just like, I'm just going to play a prank on your father because like, we're never going to find out where we're going. Yeah. And, my dad's like, oh, like trying to be polite. Then I'm like, God damn it. Like, I just.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they lasted. But
I'm saying you could learn a lot from a 5 hour car ride.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think they should take a car ride and then see how rosy it all is when they're done with that.
We were on a car ride back from Mammoth to LA, and I've talked about it. And it's when Peter got Mackenzie tickets to Ed Sheeran for Christmas, and then realized that she just didn't go in June. He went on Facebook, saw all the other dads whose daughters went.
Yeah.
And all the other people posting. And she didn't tell him that she wasn't going to go because, Peter could have sold those tickets.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
StubHub. And We were absolutely hostages, Brandon, Drake, and I, for 5 hours about him harping on and me trying to be like, she never asked for the tickets, Peter.
Right.
Don't give someone an experience as a gift unless they have specifically asked for it.
Yeah.
Don't give me a round trip to a country that I've never asked to go to. I don't want it.
But you think that sounds nice. I was surprised. I did it to my wife. I got her tickets to Barry Manilow. Yeah, that's right. Barry Manilow at the Forum. She was like, what is this? I said, this is Barry Manilow. I love him. Therefore, I'd like to share that with you. My wife, she was mortified.
Did she go?
Yeah. Oh, she went. Oh,
did she like it when she got
right up front? She was like, who is this old man?
Did she like it in the end?
No. Well, she liked Copacabana.
She knew that one.
Yeah. And otherwise, she was like, this is ludicrous. But yes. I loved it. I loved it. And she was.
Well, we are still traumatized. I would like to file a lawsuit against Ed Sheeran personally.
Okay.
Because that was 5 hours that we'll never get back. I recorded it.
Yeah.
And I recently found it and played it, and we were rolling.
Oh my God, that's fun.
Laughing.
Yeah.
Laughing. Like you just see my leg.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and it's just like, no, I don't understand. Yeah. You do something nice for someone. Why wouldn't she tell us? I'm like, because we've never gone through this before. Now she knows if she gets something and she's not going to go to a concert, to sell him herself or give him back to the person who gave it. But you didn't know. Anytime you get mad at your kid, you can't get mad at them for certain things if you never taught him what to do in this scenario. What to do when the car, when this happens with the car. Have we gone through and said what to do, what not to do? And if I have not taught them that lesson, I cannot be mad that they didn't know what to do.
And also giving concert tickets to somebody, that's like giving them there's a big night. You got to get up. You got to go out. You got to get ready.
That's the thing. She couldn't find anybody that wanted. She was in college.
Right.
She couldn't find anyone that wanted to go with her from Long Beach State to the Dodger Stadium.
Right.
And she wasn't that into it. And so she was just like, fuck it. It's not costing me anything. She didn't think about it.
Yeah.
She just stayed in her dorm. She wasn't doing heroin.
No.
She wasn't doing anything bad. She just didn't go to the fucking concert. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Also, this kid, he's a junior.
Yeah.
And he started posting about her private jet and where it's going and tracking her jet.
Yeah.
She sent him a cease and desist.
Which I agree with.
Yes, but then legally, he's not doing anything wrong. I agree that morally and socially, dude, you're a weirdo.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that could go wrong with this. Think about not just her. Think about crazy teenage fans that maybe sneak onto the runway or something.
Yeah.
Because they're that crazy and then possibly get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That is why I think you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
But I guess this is a way, it's public record if you want it. And therefore, he's not really breaking the law. And
now, are the Swifties going? They must be killing this kid. They got his name and his picture. Don't they go after everybody? The Swifties.
I mean, what do they really do? I have never heard about Swifties showing up at someone's house.
No, she'll be. They just write mean things about.
Well,
but they attack. They're young girls, so they attack things that you are really sensitive about. They'll be like, you have small.
Well, I guess Taylor's new album is about the last boyfriend before Travis.
Yeah.
And he's he's prepared. It's like going to a bomb shelter. I guess it's turned off comments.
Yeah.
On Instagram. He's getting all prepared for what is going to happen with this song, Dead Poet Society, whatever it's called. Yeah. Okay. Do you know the latest with Meghan Markle, your former coworker?
Yeah, for a coworker, yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, they're trying to make life work. Okay.
Yeah.
For one thing, they don't like to spend their own money. And people are upset that they go on everyone else's private jet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you're upset. If you have a friend with a private jet and they're impressed with you and they want to say hop on or lend it to you because you're the prince and princess or whatever, don't you, who don't have access to a private jet, be mad that they're moochers.
Yeah.
If the people are going to let them mooch. Can you blame them? So there's that. And now they're going back to using the Sussex name, which they're not supposed to use.
Okay.
They're supposed to use whatever Prince Philip's last name is, which I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Because that is Charles' dad.
Yeah.
Which is, so
right.
It's like my kids, if they wanted to live in the palace of McDonald land.
Sure.
They would be called, the heir and the spare, McDonald, Prince of McDonald land and Prince of McDonald Lee or whatever.
Yeah.
But then if they married a couple bitches and I cut them out, they just would have to be Brandon and Drake Tobias.
Yeah.
That's it. but they're going back to the Sussex and they're putting it on their website and everything. And they're like, oh my God, the Queen would be angry and Philip would be angry. And, but look, she just got another podcast deal.
Yeah, over at the Tangerine or something.
Lemonada.
Yeah, Lemonada, yeah. Yeah.
And here's the thing. What I already gave my prediction what I think the show will be. Mm-hmm. It is not going to be me talking to amazing women because nobody cared.
Nobody cares. No, that's what exactly. Nobody cares about.
It is going to be
somebody bringing rice to a country, because they need it. And then they talk about that to Gail or Oprah or somebody.
I give her 10 episodes.
Fun? She's going to be fun or
10 episodes before she starts referencing
Suits.
Housewives or like a Vanderpump Rules or some type of pop culture something. They're going to be like, let's get your take on pop culture. They're going to do something that's light.
Right.
It's going to start out not as hard, but it is going to be like a fitness girl. How to get your mommy body back. It's going to be stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be eventually like, hey, you got to talk about stars or something.
She's also in a tricky situation because, she's just so under a microscope that she can't say anything mean or anything about anybody. So that's tough. And I'm not kidding when I say this, and I'm half kidding kind of, but honestly, as an ex-coworker of hers who worked in a restaurant and folded napkins and rolled silverware with her, she should have me as a guest. It would make her look like she's normal. It would make her look. Yes, exactly. Like we talk about the days of
a producer who's I'm sure listening to Juicy Soup right now.
The days of working in a restaurant together on Sunset Boulevard. Remember when she did that thing with Oprah? All anyone talked about was she said, "I worked at Humphrey Yogarts." That was the most the one clip people took from that interview.
And you guys know I worked at Haagen-Dazs.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did on Ventura in in Tarzana.
Yeah.
In a square right by your house.
Okay. That's where I am. Don't tell people where I live. Yeah. I always think about that when I get the ice cream.
Swiss almond fudge. Hardest ice cream to scoop.
Yeah.
And if somebody came in saying, I would like you to pack it. It was a real classy thing if you went to Haagen-Dazs and said, I want you to fresh pack me a quart.
Yeah.
Because I think back then you couldn't buy it in the stores. It was like a real thing. Haagen-Dazs was the classy.
Yeah.
And some old people would come in and be like, $1.25 a scoop. What the fuck is this? We're going to Thrifties, And but I would be like, if they ask for, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'd be like sweating.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I know.
It is sweat. But yeah, that whole thing of
have me on. We'll talk about rolling silverware. It'll make you look normal.
Yeah.
It'll bring you down to earth. It'll be cute. And I'll be happy to do it. I'm not going to take any cheap shots.
I think it's a great okay, hold on. You're welcome, Meghan Markle.
I won't wear my hat. I won't.
This is what she needs to do.
Okay.
I don't know if her ego is low enough for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's hit the new Meghan Markle, like I'm the new Heather.
Yeah.
Humble. Like, hey, I was ugly. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. But if she does a series of like, who is Meghan? Mm-hmm. Because so many people have but see, I don't think she will.
Okay.
Because there are so many things that she's fubbed on, and I don't think she wants people fact checking. But if she really does have a teacher that adored her in high school, things like that.
Yeah.
Come with some fun stories and some memories of me. Let me see if I remember it. If we did that where we start to forget all the pretentious shit that she's done for the last 5 years and we start to just like her as a cool mom.
Right. Which I think she has that ability,
funny, then from there, she gets her authenticity back. We start to like her. And as a pretty, fashionable, well-spoken, educated mom, she will be able to do whatever she wants. She'll sell shit. She'll be able to have a design show. Mm-hmm. Whatever she wants to do once she regains America liking her as
Got to be a little self-deprecating about the acting days, the suitcase, the Deal or No Deal suitcase era.
But she wasn't authentic about that when she talked about that.
But I'm saying now, now you talk about going on auditions.
Now she has to go back.
She auditioned a million things before Suits and things like that.
You said there was an article that we were going to talk about, and I saw it too. How they were saying actors now are really struggling since the strike is over, but there's no real pilot season. This always used to be traditionally. The springtime was the pilot time. So
because there were 3 networks and everything was coming out in the fall.
Right. And they would choose which ones are going to film in April.
Right.
They would choose that in January. So February, March is when you would try to book a pilot and Leah Remini would have 5 to choose from, and oh my God, and oh geez. Yeah. And then you would shoot that in like April or May or something, and then they would review them all, and by early July or June, they would decide this is the fall lineup. That was it. But now with all the different streamers and everything, there isn't really like a traditional pilot season.
No, so I guess there's not enough. There's not many roles. Which I don't know how. I feel like there's more TV shows than there's ever been, but I guess there's not a lot of recurring parts on these things or whatever. So I'm just so happy I'm not in that world anymore. Like if I had to be counting on an audition or a part, what a nightmare. I mean, thank God
I get so nervous.
Yeah.
Trying to find the parking.
Oh, God, that was the worst.
I just thought this was a very funny headline from Daily Mail. Exclusive, how Kanye's marriage to Bianca was saved after hanging on by a thread. And the photos they choose are him with the hockey mask and then also him with a other mask on his face, leather jacket, gloves, her dressed in her weird outfit. And I'm like, hanging by a thread? I don't even really care about these people anymore. I've said what I've said. I think she's in on it. I think she's getting paid monthly to be with him.
I think it's something like that, too. The guy who played Jason, the actor who played Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th movie, said his mask does not fit right.
Did he really?
Yes, he did. And he said he has a better one that'll fit him better.
I had a juicy scooper that said, a lot of people think it's performance art.
That's what I said.
He's kind of mocking her.
Yeah.
But Juicy Scooper was watching 40-Year-Old Virgin the other day.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in the movie where the girl pops out of the bed and she puts the exact same purple pillow on her to cover her body.
Oh, really?
And I swear to God, he must have seen that movie recently. And just because the purple pillow is exactly the same color purple, the exact same size.
But what's with the new teeth? He's got like a toaster in his mouth now. It's just titanium or something.
He has titanium, but they're not shaped teeth.
And
then also he had some weird thing.
Yeah, like a big blister on his lip or something. Yeah, he had a
blister. It didn't look like herpes. It didn't look like a piercing. It just looked like something weird. And then, of course, people think that it's not even him.
Yeah, because he has the sock
with
over
Shelley
his face.
Miskovich somewhere.
I mean,
along with Jeffrey Epstein.
those TMZ people who interview him and sit there and they don't crack a smile when he's screaming at them through the sock or whatever's on his face. I mean,
how could you not be laughing?
I know, how could you not laugh at this? But whatever. I mean, it's just, who knows?
Okay, did you hear about this fish? It was in an aquarium.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of fish is that?
I think it's a stingray. I've read it's a stingray.
She got knocked up.
Yeah, she's pregnant.
With no stingray in sight. There is a shark there. Like a little small shark. Yeah. And they found shark bites on her for when he tried to go down on her, I guess.
And no, they say that's what sharks mate. I guess when they mate, they bite you. Some people do that.
Some people, I mean, when I hear about how like everybody's having sex now and they have to be choked and bit and, sounds awful.
Yeah.
There's that song, I Don't Want to Choke You, Baby. But I don't know. I listen to, when I'm with Brandon, I have to hear all the songs.
Like the Hot Today, the ones
that are not censored for Kiss FM.
Oh, is that right?
And every time I go, Peter, she's like, have you heard You Speak? Like, shut up, Mom. And I go, okay, you're right. I guess
What about that one that goes, you think it is shit, you're not even a fart.
No, that's kind of funny, though.
Yeah. You think it is shit, but you're not even a fart. That's a big hit right now.
By the way.
It's that girl with the red hair was with Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl.
Oh, apparently she did some devil sign at the game.
What? How dare she?
She went like this or something.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
No, I don't do it right now.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I felt like she was all of us at the Super Bowl. Because it didn't look like she knew anything about football just by seeing the reactions of her, and I feel like also it's one of those things where Taylor Swift called and she probably like had the best plans, like do nothing on Super Bowl Sunday, and when Taylor Swift's like, "Come on, guys," she's like, "Oh, I gotta go. It's Taylor Swift. Like it's a whole ordeal now." And she just had to go. We've all gotten that phone call, you know? Usually it's an Ed Sheeran concert. Something now I got to do this.
There's times where I've said no and I do regret it.
Yeah. Regret what?
There's times, very rarely, I know you think I've never turned down anything.
I can't believe you've ever turned down anything.
Okay, I'll tell you one time I turned down something that...
Yeah, anything I've asked you to do.
That one brunch.
Yes, it was lovely.
That's it.
Okay, that's true. But let me have my
towards
fun.
the end of Chelsea lately, she was performing at the Forum, and we could all go if
Taylor
we wanted.
Swift?
No, Chelsea.
Oh, Chelsea, yes.
And we could all go if we wanted.
I went.
And I just was it just hit me on a weekend thing. Hit me in like that week. And just the thought of going all the way from Woodland Hills to the Forum. I don't know why. I just said, it was like, I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
So dumb of me. Like every Hollywood star was there. It was like the last party, the last shebang.
It was a good one.
Do you think I don't know that? I have regrets from 8 years later.
I remember I brought some girl and I got a weird swinger vibe from people that night where they were like...
Down to swing?
Yeah. They were like asking me like, what's her deal? She's not your girlfriend.
I was like, no. I have a swinging story for
you. And it was, I was getting you probably know the people I'm talking about. But I definitely got a swinger vibe. You definitely know them, but I'm not going to say their names, but I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
But I definitely got a swinger vibe from them that night with this girl.
Well, watch out who you publicly, good thing you didn't say their name, point out about being swingers.
Yeah.
Because this New York City teacher bizarrely bragged about sex lives of swinging parents. So she went on social media and she was like, I have the coolest parents at my school. They're swingers. And people were like, wait a minute. Like, we clearly know what school you're at. And why does that make them cool if they're swingers? But again, like, I really do think in this day and age where not only does everyone have social media, but everyone has a podcast.
Right.
You think just because you're not saying the person's name or you're not showing your child on,
Yeah.
But to talk about your kid and the kid's school and stuff, like you're kind of fucking it up for your kid.
I know.
And if you're the teacher, you're fucking it up for those people. But like, you're screwing it up for your kid. Because if you're like, go to a kid, I don't know. It's just, you got to be careful about the swinging. But I mean, I don't know if she got fired or what, but she did. Speaking of people that got fired from being teachers, wait, I'm going to skip over to this one.
Oh, Rachel Dolezal. Remember her?
So Rachel how do you say her last name?
Dolezal?
Dolezal.
Yeah.
She was the famous girl who said, was hired at the NAACP.
Yeah. Of a certain chapter. She was
as a black woman, as president.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how it was discovered. We recently discovered how Hilaria was discovered of not really being Spanish, Hilaria Baldwin. But it was discovered that I want to say her parents told on her. Her parents were like, she's not black.
And there was pictures on Facebook where she's obviously
and then it all
white.
Came out that everybody in her family was white. There was not 1 ounce of black in her, but she was identify as black. She did her hair like an African American style, permed it, braided, whatever. Probably used a lot of self tanner, and she just looked like she was mixed. She did,
yeah.
And so anyway, after that whole scandal, there was a documentary. She still gets hired because I guess she had the credentials to be hired as a teacher.
Right. But in a different state. And
I want to say Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah.
But
it is Tucson.
You don't make a lot as a teacher. So like a lot of teachers and nurses and everybody else, they get an OnlyFans account. And because of that, they're like, that goes against our morals. So they fired her for that.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe someone hired her in the first. After that scandal,
I know,
maybe
I
really want this person I don't know, but I guess if you're educated, you need someone to teach the class. You need someone to teach.
Was she doing I feel like OnlyFans is when you say OnlyFans, there are sexual things on OnlyFans. There's also just people just. She said, "I wish someone would buy my
art." So she had art on there, but I think she also had sexy stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I know some
maybe
people
her in lingerie painting or something.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
All right, I'm just curious because you could do full on.
Wasn't it you who told me that your brother follows somebody?
Yeah.
That is in a bikini that she
works on cars. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was upset about it because he was spending good money.
And what happened?
She wasn't just in a bikini. He thought he was going to see her working on cars and more, fully nude.
Oh.
He liked both things. He liked her nude and he liked car work. And can you imagine the day he realized, wait, I could see both of these things together in one video?
It's like the Reese's Cup. You got your chocolate, my peanut butter, my chocolate.
Exactly. So he was very excited about it. Spent $10 a month, whatever it was. And, he got hoodwinked by the fact that she was really, I don't know if she was actually working on the cars or just pretending, but she wasn't even in a nude bikini.
Amazing. Tinder and Hinge are deliberately turning users into swiping addicts. People are suing them, saying like it's made me insane because
they're just swiping.
There's something in it that makes you go crazy. But I'm like, so does Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, it's made everybody insane.
Just remove
We're all
it.
insane from it.
This girl got arrested. This is like not a news story, but I just found it, and it's from Inside History. A woman got arrested after texting a guy 159,000 times after their first date.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this Netflix doc called Stalker Lover Killer or Lover Stalker Killer?
No.
Well, unfortunately, I started to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Spoiler alert. It's been out for a week and a half.
Yeah.
Of course, when I start watching any true crime, it's so rare that I don't know a juicy story. If it's involved passion. And of course, I figured it out within the first 10 minutes. But this guy, I'll just say this so you can still enjoy it. So this guy, who's a mechanic as well, meets this woman. He's divorced with a kid. And then it doesn't really work out with her. He meets another woman. And then that woman immediately starts texting him, acting crazy, whatever. Then she goes off the grid, but she haunts him forever. Like, it's haunting him for years and doing all these weird things. Turns out it was never that woman. It was the original woman.
Oh.
Well, I did just read it for you. The original woman. But the whole point is like the obsessive texting after you meet somebody on like, what is the protocol? I think it must be so hard. I have a friend who's back into dating.
Oh, yeah.
Went on a date, liked the guy.
Okay.
He had a good date. He wrote her and said, I had a really good time tonight. Look forward to seeing you again soon. So she wrote back, agree, something she wrote like looking forward to getting together soon.
Okay.
Well, I mean, now there's nothing more she can do.
No,
right?
That's it.
You have to put it in the guy's hands.
Yeah.
He put out that he did want to. She confirmed, I would too. Is that enough of an indication as a man? If you like her,
yes, exactly.
You don't need more than that, correct?
No, that's it. That's all you need.
So that's what the women. That's what women need to hear.
Yeah.
All they need is they need to make the follow-up text.
Mm-hmm.
You need to make it clear, as short as possible, but clear that you are down to do something again.
Yeah.
If they so choose. You should not then, if you don't hear from them in 2 days, go, hey, I was wondering, what's your week looking like?
No. Don't. I mean, it's as simple as that book from years ago. Not that into you. I mean,
and the rules. Yeah,
right.
You gotta leave it in the guy's hands.
If they're into you, they'll let you know. If they're not,
when you had someone, then so you go on a date. This back in your single days.
Oh my God, the heaven! So much fun. Especially when these came out, these swipey things. Oh. I was still around single during those days, early on, the early days. And you were
still a little bit famous.
I know. You didn't think my pictures were all just me with like you, Chelsea Handler, like that's all I had.
Nothing makes me happier than when a gay guy sends me a photo or tells me, because you're not supposed to screen grab stuff, that someone on one of the gay sites
has a picture with you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good one.
As their cred.
Yeah.
As like their celebrity photo.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you need to date that man.
That's a good one.
That needs to be your husband.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those were fun times, I mean, thank God I don't have to go through that anymore. And I hope I never do again.
Were there times that has there ever been a time?
Yeah.
Okay. Where you liked a girl, it was fine. You weren't totally feeling it. You did the polite, let's get together, whatever. But then the next morning, maybe there was someone else that popped up on your phone or, So you don't reach out again, but then she does.
Yeah. Oh, a lot.
Okay. But.
Yeah.
So let's get into the guy's brain. Yeah. So do you go out with them again? And have you ever then gone, thank God she texted me, because had she not, I would have blown her off. And because she texted me, we went out and then we dated for 3 months.
Second time, yeah. I can't think of an incident where that
Makes sense,
happened.
'cause it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. No.
I think it's really sad to spell it out for the ladies.
I think you're either into it or you're not.
I think a girl can convince herself.
Yeah.
A girl can convince herself. A girl can see other qualities. I think a girl can make herself attracted.
Right.
And see other attractive qualities to the guy if he's really caring, if he has some money, if he does something really nice for her. That can be a real turn on. A guy who comes and like fixes your car or, something.
Clean sheets, a clean house. I thought
Peter pulled down a whole cabinet himself.
Whoa.
And started like redoing stuff in his condo.
What, for you or just because?
For himself. But I heard my mother in my head, find a guy that can fix a few things. Your father's awful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So things like that, protective, like things.
Wait, did he pull down the cabinet, but did he put it back up?
Yes,
Anyone
and he
can pull it down.
He pulled it down and realized the place looked better open.
Oh,
he didn't need the cabinet, and then I could see that he could do shit.
Okay,
and I'm just saying, like, I think you could be like about this guy, and then God forbid you have a flat tire or something, and he like shows up and is like cool about it and classy and like, no, follow me. And women will say those are the things that like made them switch and fall in love.
Right.
But I feel like guys, it's much more cut and dry.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you.
And and I think we're also just, I think we're screwed because we watch all these, we grew up watching all these movies, these romantic love stories, that 95% of them were written by men that basically were just good writers who learned a formula.
Right.
And you'd watch it and you're like, but in this movie, this is what really made the guy fall. And it's just like, it's just made up. We need to have more movies where it's just about real couples and how they fell in love and like real stories of how real couples fell in love and then follow those leads.
The other night we were watching, it was on TBS or whatever.
Yeah.
And we started watching it, Pretty Woman. And it's so funny. I mean, everyone loves that movie.
Yeah,
but,
I can't get enough, but it's so wrong.
Well, I know. Richard Gere's, if you look at it, every guy's just a prick. And there's a couple times where he shushes her quite a few times.
Well, she's a hooker. Well, I mean, you're bringing a girl who's on the streets sucking dirty dicks every night.
Right.
Who's only supposed to be like 21.
Right.
And her life was over. She left Georgia to come to L.A. Because her mom said she was a bum finder, a bum within 5 yards. She finds it. A bum? You're 21. What kind of life did you live? The whole thing was, I mean, obviously, it's like
just
the dumbest.
Different times. Yeah.
Just different times, but it's, again, you wanted to believe that you could be from nothing.
Right.
And a fabulous guy, like you could turn a guy to just fall in love with your brain because here you are. So it's a brilliant script written by a man. It's a brilliant script.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we get on this, I just watched a great movie the other day with Brandon.
Okay.
I don't know if it popped up for Black History Month or what, but it popped up and I go, oh my God, please, we have to watch this movie.
American Fiction.
No. It was, I've not seen that one. I want to.
Pretty good.
No, Boys in the Hood. My God.
Oh, it's great.
That movie is so fucking good.
Yeah.
The acting. And I was like, this is what made Cuba a star.
Yeah.
I mean, crying. Like everything. And we were just riveted. And I'm like, if you have not watched that, and they talk about gentrification. And this was
that scene with Lawrence Fishburne. And that neighborhood is now gentrified.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I never understood. Like, I understood now what it is, but I didn't understand then. And I think even when I saw that movie, that part didn't click to me like it does now.
Yeah.
And
John Singleton. He wrote it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Just so brilliant. Anyway, so Larsa Pippen do you know the story behind this? She was at a comedy club. She broke up with Marcus Jordan. That's not his name. What is his name? Marcus Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is, what's his name? Jordan's son.
Michael Jordan's son.
It's Michael Jordan's son. And I was just going to say
She's Scottie Pippen's ex-wife who played with Michael Jordan on the Chicago Bulls. They, of course, won a bunch of championships, but they also have a contentious relationship.
I'm just going to call him Marcus Jordan's dad.
Yeah. So
because I think he's more famous than Michael Jordan now. Yeah.
So anyway, Greg Wilson, a comedian.
Yeah.
That's him there performing. I guess it was like he was hired to do like a roast or something. It was a roast of somebody at a party, and they happened to be at the party. And the joke
great PR for everybody involved.
And the joke he made was like, you're the first one to break both Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a good joke.
There was another thing. Do you know about Donnell Donnell Rawlings.
Yeah.
He's a big on OnlyFans. And goes ballistic on Corey Holcomb. Do you know what he went ballistic over?
Apparently, Corey, this was a little bit of what we were talking about earlier. It's a little bit of repercussions from the Cat Williams interview. On apparently, Cat Williams said if you've done like two or three
black on black comedy crime.
Yes. So it's something like that. Corey Holcomb's a big comic. He was on Last Comic Standing, but he's huge in the black comedy world. He sells out everywhere. People love him.
Yeah, I know. He's
anyway,
great.
yeah. Anyway, he
both are funny.
I guess. Cat Williams said that if you've done more than 3 movies in Hollywood, you've sucked a dick or something. That's what he said on the Shannon Sharp thing. I didn't watch the whole 3 hours, and I guess Donnell Rawlings was in the audience of that show, and he said, "Hey, Corey, I've done more than 3 movies in Hollywood. And I never sucked a dick or something." But apparently Corey Holcomb doesn't like Dave Chappelle. He's Dave Chappelle's guy, Donnell Rawlings, and there was a contention there. Some people are saying Donnell Rawlings has a special coming out next week, and they're loving this. That's what I'm hearing.
I don't think those things are planned, though.
I don't think it's planned.
No.
I don't know
I think there's benefit from sometimes feuds and stuff, but I mean, people have thought like I've planned feuds when I've had like feuds with people. I've never planned any feud for. I wish that when I've had problems with people that it was planned and we all both benefited. It never has been. So I'm like, I don't think it's that, but yeah, well, that's kind of good.
Also, I feel like there's a lot of cameras in comedy clubs these days. Like every 2 minutes there's another.
I guess, I mean, I know that I think at at Denver Comedy Works,
they put it in a bag.
They have the thing that actually Dave Chappelle started, which is you put it in a little sack.
Yes,
it's so great, you guys. Put it in a little sack. You keep your phone because I know people have to with their phone.
You can't open the sack.
So you can put it on vibrate. Yeah. So if your nanny is vibrating you, then by all means, get up and go and check.
Yeah.
You're not going to miss an emergency call, but you're not going to be able to look at your phone. You're not going to start being able to scroll through Instagram, be bored.
Right.
And you're not going to be able to film the comic.
Yeah. I think Comedy Works is the last one to still do it.
Thing, and it's so nice, again, for the audience around you. It's about the other people, too. It's not just about the star. But then, But then also, I feel like comics are blowing up with their crowd work.
Yeah.
So those people are probably hiring someone to film the whole set.
Yeah.
Just film the whole set. Hopefully I'll have a moment that I could grab from.
Right.
So much extra work. I just want to go and do the show.
It's all a lot of work.
I'll have to hire someone in the town.
Yeah.
Okay. Madonna fell.
I saw that.
I watched it and I totally think it was the dancer's fault. He or she was pulling the chair and then she fell over. What I've seen from the Madonna concert, and now again, I think this ruins wanting to go to the Madonna concert. I feel like I've seen the whole concert.
Online?
I think I feel I've seen all of the Adele concert and all of Madonna's concert.
Right.
Up close, the outfits,
Still probably a fun show to go to.
No, it's still a really fun show. Whatever. People are so mean. Don't go. But coming late, that would bug.
I also read that starting the show late. Yeah, I also read that Usher, I guess, fell during the Super Bowl performance. He had a little trip up, and today he fired the dancer that tripped him up. That's what I had read just before he came to air. So, I mean, a lot of times it could be. There's a lot of dancers out on, that Usher thing. That was a lot of. I mean, he brought back rollerblading for a minute. That was, you don't see anybody doing that anymore. But he did.
I said on my Patreon, where you can join at heathermcdonald.net, I didn't think it was great.
It didn't do anything for me either. But
I think there were lots of better ones, and I think
he started off too slow.
Much going on.
You can't
too
start
many
off
different
slow.
Outfits. There was no cohesiveness.
I don't blame Usher. I think it was shot poorly. It was too many close-ups.
I started on the ground.
Yeah, I know.
Why is it not starting on a stage?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Or coming out, you got to do something grand in the beginning. You can't just walk out to some slow song.
Listen, as 2 theater kids,
exactly.
Come out stage left. Yeah. This is Bryce, Dallas Howard. Bryce Dallas Howard. And it's the story and comes across where I hear that music, like this inspirational music as they do this video. And it's her talking and interview saying, well, it was ever, as soon as I was old enough to be on the floor of whatever casino or something, I was with my grandmother and my grandmother said, you have to, the average actress goes on 64 auditions before she gets a part. And, and this whole thing of how hard it is. And I'm like, okay, she's a really good actress, But her dad is
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard.
Yeah.
And then I thought about
her whole family.
And I also thought about the grandmother. I don't know if the grandmother was famous too, but at least she was an experienced stage mom.
Yeah.
If she had her kid
her grandfather, Rance Howard's famous.
Oh, wait, he is?
Yeah. The brother, Ron Howard's brother is pretty famous. Like, they've all been in TV their whole lives.
So again, I've talked about this. The flex of people that did not struggle, wanting to have a flex that at one point they did struggle is one of my favorite things that have come out of TikTok and everything for the last year.
Yeah.
It's like, just shut up.
I know. Yeah.
We don't need the inspirational story from you. Like tell a different story. Like, I'm sure there's other stories about your life that are interesting.
Right.
I'd rather hear about how when you were 10, you walked out and Ron Howard had all these people in the backyard. Those are the stories we want to hear from Nepo Babies.
Yeah. I want to hear the Henry Winkler was at the barbecue and blah, blah.
And like they said this or they gave you this advice.
Right.
And then they said, look, when I finally went on the audition, Henry Winkler said, this is how you can cry on cue. Tell me the secrets.
Right.
Tell me the secrets that you learned as a Nepo baby. I don't want to hear that, you didn't get every part you went out on and therefore, Tori Spelling's dad didn't know she was auditioning. She snuck in, whatever. I'm not saying she's lying. I'm saying, okay, whatever. Those stories we've heard. Come up with something better.
I've been accused of
nepotism.
When I was an electrician in New York City, Local 3 IBW.
Yeah.
My father was also Local 3 IBW.
So you're a Nepo Electro?
And me and my brothers all got it at the same time. And people were like, what is going on here? How did he get 3 boys into the union at the same time?
That's the ultimate nepotism.
And people would not talk to us. Yeah. We were in the union.
Oh, they were mean.
Local 3. I didn't last. They're the worst. I got into a full-on fight about, that's when I knew I was going to move to LA because I was a young kid. I was like 19 years old. I didn't know. Working in the World Trade Center back when that was there.
As an electrician. And then on your breaks, you'd dance in the bathroom. And say one day. One day.
Oh, I thought about it. And then like one of the older electricians like, what came first, Hydrox or Oreos? And
the cookies?
The cookies.
Oh, yeah. I thought this was a Hydrox. I thought it was a chemical question. Okay, go on.
But that's they used to be like a knockoff Oreo.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. Like, I didn't even think. I'm not thinking that much about them. Like, they both seem good. And he's like, yeah, see, that's the problem with this union. The dumb kids don't know what came first, Hydrox or Oreos. And I was like, I got to get out of this. This is not for me. Like, this guy is really passionate about these cookies. And he's like a 60-year-old man. And it's like 7 o'clock in the morning.
Is so.
And I knew right then, I was like, I got to go to get in show business.
Okay, I also saw.
I don't have passion for cookies.
Do you know where the word Nepo comes from?
Nepotism.
No, but the nepotism word comes from.
Oh, no.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I saw this. Okay. I did not do the research myself, but it seemed pretty clear. That it comes from the word Latin where priests would give their nephews jobs when they were really their love children.
Yeah.
That they were having sex outside of being celibate priests.
Okay.
And they're really their children. So in order to help their children along, they would but they would say they were their nephews. And they would and so the word nephew and I don't know.
Okay. That makes sense, I guess.
From the church. Okay.
I mean, honestly, Nepo, doesn't everybody get their kid into their business?
Of course.
I mean,
I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I have no problem, but don't then try to make that. No, of course, you still have to be good. I always say this about like Tracee Ellis Ross, who we had our first job together. She got jobs after that, and she's been great in every single one.
Yeah.
But was her journey to get an agent at William Morris a hell of a lot easier than mine?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm. But no one's giving you the job if you can't deliver.
Right.
But getting in front of the people is where the nepotism helps play. But Kate Hudson, go on her, and she is like a fucking great singer.
Yeah. I've heard her sing before. I know.
And they're like, and she's really good, like a Stevie Nicks good. And then they're like, yeah, her mom used to sing too. And I'm like, I just wonder if, again, she walked down the steps one day and they're like, this is little Katie Poo? And all the actors, well, let's get her in a movie. I'm doing something tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Then they could see she was cute. She could act. She could this and that. Who knows if had she not been the nepotism baby of an actor, maybe the singing career would have been the thing that she actually pursued.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah.
But what's great is that she's young and beautiful. She can be a singer now.
Some people are just talented. It's, talented at this. She probably can't put in an air conditioner, I mean, you gotta, some people do shit good. Some people don't.
Not good at everything.
Yeah.
This is, I don't even know the answer to this, but I just had to talk to you about it. It said, why Cole Sprouse has not spoken to the Friends cast since playing David Schwimmer's son.
Because life
why
goes
should
on.
you?
Yeah.
You were a guest star who sat on his lap and did a few scenes, who came with his mom and the teacher from the union to make sure that he was getting an education, and then you left.
He probably hasn't talked to Lisa Kudrow in 3 years.
If David Schwimmer kept in touch, he would be canceled today.
Right, exactly.
This kid would be doing his own podcast.
Yeah. He was calling me at midnight.
Cole would be doing his podcast about how David Schwimmer and Joey, used to play hide the ping pong. I don't want to fucking know that.
No.
They were smart not to keep in touch with this kid.
Yeah.
They're supposed to call him, how's 7th grade? Want to get together?
Yeah.
I mean, amazing. Look, a fan made this for me.
Oh, cute. Barbie.
It's my Barbie.
Yeah.
Comes with the earrings.
That's actually a pretty good likeness.
That you can wear for yourself. Yeah. I know. It's so, I don't know how this was done. I'm going to talk to her. She's a talented little thing. A woman discovered she was intimate with half siblings after fertility doctor used his own sperm. So this is one of those where you go in and then the ego doctor, and then you end up, but that can happen. That's why you have to buy the whole bunch.
But you were telling me about that.
Were there ever a time in your career
where I thought about
whacking off?
Whacking off
for sperm money.
No, I've never it's gotten bad. I've had some low times, but never that low.
Did you ever get blood?
Yes, but not for money. The lowest I ever was watching the TV shows before they came out and giving your giving your.
Do you remember which one it was about?
Oh
I did one.
I saw Survivor, the first ever Survivor.
Oh, you did?
And and they,
Okay, so you went to a conference room.
A little conference room.
You got paid what, 50?
100.
Oh, well, okay, that's worth
over
it.
Over in North Hollywood. Yeah,
okay,
I know.
So you watch it with everybody?
Yep.
Okay, and then this is just like when Che Diaz. I hope no one was on the other side like Che Diaz.
Well, they were. And they tell you that too. They're like, this glass is two-way or whatever, one way. And so they are on the other side, just so you know. And then they'll let you go around. I wanted a cross section of people, like white guy, blah, 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 older person, younger person, black person, blah, blah, and I was, I guess, white guy.
How many episodes did you watch?
I watched one, the first Survivor, back when it was, that naked guy. And, and I remember like, oh, this is going to be good. Like this is a good show. So you said
you gave it a good review.
Yeah, good. I gave it a good review. But then I went through and did a bunch of, it's so funny, like I probably did 20 of them throughout my career for $100, and none of them ever went. Except for Survivor. It's the only one that went. Otherwise, everyone was a shit pilot that went nowhere. To show you how many things they throw away.
There was very few pilots that I ever went out for that actually made it.
Yeah.
Like even the pilots I were going out for were like the bottom of the barrel, even though they were out like Warner Brothers and stuff.
Right.
But I once got a tape sent to me, like my parents' house. I think it was totally random. And they're like, can you watch this pilot? I don't even think they knew I was like in the industry, and tell us what you think. And I was like, yes, I'd love to give my opinion. So I put in the VHS tape, and it's Ralph Macchio.
Oh.
And Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, okay.
In like a traditional sitcom setting, 3-camera shoot.
And they were brothers or something?
I don't know.
Family
it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was so bad. And I could not wait to tell the people what I thought of it, of why I thought it was so lame and why the story didn't make sense. And, I was one of those people that was just, being like, well, if he doesn't, excuse me, you can't get your license that quickly. You would have to go, like, I was always like thinking, like,
you're the one who keeps the afternoon going longer. People just want to get out of there.
And it was just me alone and I wasn't getting paid.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because there was a lot of. Anyway, free soda too. That's how they sold me. There's a bunch of losers doing it.
Have you ever gone out on something that you were like, I don't care, I didn't get it because that's going to be such a bomb, and then it lasted forever? Or you blew something off?
Saved by the Bell. Oh. I got called back like 3 times for Saved by the Bell. It was like the first audition I ever had. And so then when you
didn't get it, you told yourself, well, that'll never go anywhere.
I didn't even think about it. I mean, I was auditioning for Screech. And I just remember it was just getting called back, and it was in North Hollywood or whatever. And at the time they had, what's his face, the blonde kid. He still works in a ton of stuff.
It's not Ricky Schroeder. No,
it's not Ricky Schroeder. I forget. I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, his picture was on the wall. And it had already been cast, and the other ones were still. I think Mario Lopez was cast too. Yeah. And they were looking for Screech. I mean, looking back on it, look what happened to Dustin Diamond. I mean, he's dead now.
I remember sitting at Warner Brothers to audition for a show called Townies, which is all these shows that were trying to be like Friends. Okay.
Right. I vaguely remember that.
And it was 3 girls.
Yeah.
And I was sitting waiting, and I'm hearing the casting director talk, and it's already been cast.
Yeah.
It was Molly Ringwald was the redhead, and she goes, so we have a redhead, a blonde, and a brunette. So we have the 3. And I'm like still going over the lines, and I'm like,
yeah.
If I had any self-respect, I'd either tell her about it, like, hey, I understand it's cast. Like, I don't need to waste your time. Is there any guest roles? Like, that's what I would say today.
Right.
But instead, I was like, well, what if So I do it. I then go call my agent. I'm like, will you tell them that I'll dye my hair blonde? And then he's like, nobody wants you, loser. Like, it was just like, anything that I could do. And then the other thing is I went out for American Idol, where the auditions were at Laugh Factory. And it was to
sing?
No, to be one of the co-hosts.
Oh, that went too.
And they're like, this is a show. And it's like, you got to kind of rib the people, like some are going to be good, some are going to be bad. I'm like, what? And
there was that other comedian, Ryan Seacrest.
Right. So that's what it was going to be. So where they were pairing up people.
Yeah.
Me with a girl, me with a guy, to have 2 hosts.
Brian Dunkelman, that was his name.
And they chose Brian Dunkelman. But I remember thinking, this show is never going to make it.
I mean, and look at us now. We're doing fine after all the bullshit.
Just you never know. You never know.
I was at a kid's birthday party yesterday, 2 days ago, Saturday, at one of these indoor playgrounds. And it was nice. We're having a nice time. Yeah. And my daughter's having fun. And at one point, I see a guy come lugging in with a big trunk.
Yeah.
And he's got big funny pants on and a hat. He's an older man.
Yeah.
He's probably 70. And his hat says Mr. Silly. And he's got a big trunk, and he says, "Oh, he's talking to the dad.
So
where can I set up?
He's
where can I set up?" And he says, "I'm listening to him say." He goes, "I need a megaphone, or I need the music turned off. These are the rules." And so, no problem. We'll get that all taken care of. And then he goes into full Mr. Silly, Yeah. And I'm watching this, going, what? That Mr. Silly didn't come here to be Mr. Silly. He came here to be Andrew McCarthy. He flew.
He came here to be Screech.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he landed in L.A. to be and now he probably did a couple of kids' parties. Like, oh, whatever, I make $250, and it's not a bad gig. But at one point, it's a ball pit. He's performing outside a ball pit, and the kids, you can't. They lose their
can't wrangle them all the time.
Yeah. And he's doing a good job. My daughter's cracking up. I can't make my daughter laugh for shit. Mr. Silly's killing. My daughter's like dying laughing at everything he says. Anyway, but some of the kids are like, that's got to be the worst, because there's 4-year-olds who love everything you say, and there's also 9-year-olds who are like giving away his tricks.
Yes.
And he's getting angry. I could see it. Mr. Silly's like, this bitch is giving away all my tricks. Anyway, then kids start throwing the balls from the ball pit at him. And he's like, he can't break the Mr. Silly character.
Right.
But he's furious. He's like, okay, everyone stop throwing the balls. Oh my God. At least I'm not Mr. Silly,
No, you're not.
I never got to hear. I'm not Sean Penn, but I'm not Mr. Silly.
No, you're not. All right, Chris, tell us again where they can see you live if they missed it on Thursday. Tell
everybody. This weekend, I'm in Philadelphia. Philadelphia Punchline, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then Sunday night, I'm at the DC Improv Sunday night. Franjola.fun has everything. I'm coming to Stamford, Connecticut, New York Comedy Club, Stamford, Connecticut, and so much more. I mean, there's a lot of shows. I got the Tampa Improv again, Tampa Side Splitters, and then the Improv in Dania Beach. Franjola.fun. Cover to Covers the podcast. Come over and have some fun. Just please. That's all I ask.
Thank you,
so I don't
Chris.
have to go. I don't want to be Mr. Silly ever again.
I know. I love it. Of course, HeatherMcDonald.net. Join Patreon. See all my dates.
Back on the road.
Go there. Back on the road and being very selective. So,
how do you feel about it?
I'm excited.
Do you have new material? Like, what are you doing?
Of course.
Are you going to be doing like material or
yes,
juicy scoops?
I have new stories, new material, stuff that I've not said here or on Patreon. Mm-hmm. working on all of that. There'll be some Juicy Scoop, like hot topic stuff.
Right.
And every show will be different. And it's called the Juicy Scoop Experience. And you will experience joy and laughter when you come.
One more Juicy Scoop story that I forgot to tell earlier, that you was talking about friends with private jets earlier in this episode.
Yes. Do you have any? I
did. Years, even before Chelsea Lately, we knew a guy, his name, I don't want to say his name. His name's Wayne, but his last name I won't say. But he had a private jet. And he
So when you were like actor, Chris?
Yeah, we were like, I was a waiter, and he would fly, and we'd fly to Vegas.
How did you meet him?
Whatever. He was a customer at the restaurant. He was a super nice guy. Still very friendly.
And Meghan Markle didn't hop on that?
No, well, I don't think she was there yet. It was early on.
All right.
Anyway, and he was still friendly with him to this day. Right. Anyway, he was in prison for a while. Now he's out. But you know that guy.
He was the guy that asked that girl to marry him.
How do you get that private jet? It was shady business, but whatever, he had it.
Yeah.
And one day we Van Nuys Airport, wherever he picked up the private jet.
To go to Vegas.
We go to Vegas. And the flight attendant comes off the plane, and she's like, just sorry it took so long to get the plane back up and running, but Whitney and Bobby just got off. And she was telling us what the plane looked like when it came from Vegas to Van Nuys Airport.
And they destroyed it in 40 minutes.
In 40 minutes. She goes, we had to wash the walls. So sorry you guys had to wait.
Were they puking there?
Who knows? But she's like, I've never seen anything quite like what Whitney and Bobby did to this plane in 40 minutes. I was like, wow, that's exciting.
And then, when you then got on Chelsea Lately, were you still hearing from Wayne?
Oh, yeah.
So when did he go to prison?
I still hear from him. He was actually.
When did he go to prison, though?
He was in a fancy prison for tax stuff. He was 5 years, but he's out now.
Oh, and are you friends now?
Yeah, I just saw him. He came to my.
But he doesn't have a jet.
He still has. Yes, he's back in jet money. He flew my friend Carl, and his wife. He flew them all to Mexico for his 60th birthday party.
Why weren't you invited to that?
I'm not that close to him.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think it'd be easy to weasel your way up.
I could have probably, but I'm not. I don't need that anymore. Those days are over.
Classy guy.
Yeah, I'm a classy guy.
Okay, tell me when I can meet Wayne.
I will.
I would like to.
He would love you, actually. Oh, but he's one of the. He's a gay guy.
I love that.
Yeah. He's great guy, but it's a lot. He's never off. If you know what I mean.
Let me know.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.